Welcome back to my channel, guys. Today I'm going to be showing you how to propagate the Monstera Deliciosa, and the reason I've decided to propagate mine is that I would really like to have more plants in the pot, because Monstera Deliciosa will only have one vine per plant. It will never branch out into more than one. So what I want to do is take a cutting, root that cutting, and then plant it back into the pot. And this is going to be a long-term project, so let's get started. So here is my Monstera Deliciosa, and as you can see, it's not the fullest plant in the world, and that's why I'm going to be taking a cutting to add back into the pot. So first I'm going to show you where to cut, and where you cut is very important. You can see here there's a sort of bump just here, and there's an aerial root here. This is an aerial root, and this bump, and you can see just underneath there's a sort of seam that goes around. This is the node, and this is where the roots will grow from. So we need to cut below the node here. If we were to cut above, somewhere up here, roots would not grow. So locate a node, and a node is usually where a leaf has grown from. And the fact that we have a decent aerial root too, this is also something you should be looking for. So you want to locate that bump, and this is where we're going to be cutting, just underneath there. And hopefully this is where the roots will grow from. And if you make sure your cutting has one of these aerial roots, this will also up the success rate of your cutting as well. Also, just here, I've just flipped to the other side. You can see here it's quite subtle, but it's a sort of an oval shape. This is called a growing eye, and you want to make sure you've got one of those as well. So you want a growing eye, an aerial root, and a node, and then you're going to cut below. Okay, so I'm preparing to make my cut, and you can see here that the internodal spacing, which is just the space between nodes from here to here, is quite big here. It shouldn't actually be that long. This is because when this plant grew these leaves here, this one, I had this Monstera in a low light area, and so this is what happens if you don't give it enough light. So I will be cutting quite far down this stem, and it's worth leaving as much here below the node as you possibly can anyway, because if this rots, then you can trim it, so you can kind of get a second chance. So if this does end up rotting, say it rotted up to here, I could cut it there and I could keep going until I get to this point, but this is the point from which you can't cut any more off. So just to explain that, so I'm going to cut just down here, and this is a clean knife that I have here. I've cleaned it with my rubbing alcohol. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so that wasn't the cleanest cut, so I'm just going to recut just to make the cut cleaner. And there we go. And I'm going to be coating the wound in this rooting powder. So I'm just going to dip the cut end in there, make sure it's covered, and then just tap it off. You can see there I've just coated the cut edge, and where the roots are going to grow from is here, so this area where the node is. And so the reason I've left this on, as I explained before, is if this was to rot, say up to here, I could just cut that off and stop it from spreading, but say if I had it cut there, I wouldn't have much of a chance to cut much of it off. So, and I have a container here ready. So I'm going to actually trim this aerial root just so it fits in there better. Okay, and I also dipped the aerial root in the rooting powder. And then I'm just going to place this cutting in my container. And I'm hoping it fits. So I have my 2-leaf cutting there, and I'm now going to fill the container with water. So now all you need to do is place your cutting in bright and direct light and change the water whenever you're able to. I usually change mine about once a week. And if you like to keep up to date on this cutting and how its roots develop over the coming weeks and months, do subscribe to the channel and I will keep you updated. And the best of luck with your cuttings. Do let me know how it goes. Thanks for watching, guys. There's another video up there that you might enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one.